Since October. Cool. And what level are you right now? How much of your business have you found online? Pink level, not much business online. So do you do most of your business face-to-face, like family and friends, or someplace else? Yeah, we're the only ones. Can you see me on the computer? You can call in on your phone and you'll be able to see me and I can hear you. On the thing you got, there's a phone number that you can even call in on. Okay, very little interest on your Facebook post. So where's most of your business come from so far? Events and a lot of stockers. So mostly cash and carry. You can call on the phone. Call the phone number. You can still watch, leave this going, call from a phone, and you can totally talk to me. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I'll get started with this lesson. You got a little one-on-one here. It'll be a lot of fun. So let me ask you, just so I can kind of have a comparison, tell me a little bit about the posts that you post and how frequently, like multiple times a day or just a couple times a week. What are you currently using to try to generate interest on social media at this point? Okay, and are you doing that on a page or on your profile? Okay, you have a group. How many people are in the group? And do you ever post on your private profile on just your regular wall? 222, that's awesome. Okay. You're only allowed to post about the opportunity to become a presenter. You can't post about the product? No, I'm not responding on here. I'm just talking to you. You're only allowed to post about the opportunity to become a presenter on your wall, and then you can post about product in a group, but not on your wall. I have a lot of unique clients, and I see them post about product on their wall all the time. I mean, I know you can't undersell each other and post prices, but I see people post about product all the time. Maybe it's not against the rules, they do it anyway, but is that what your understanding is? You can post, like, post about the opportunity on your wall, but not. Okay, but you are posting about product sometimes? Okay, so let me share a couple of thoughts and ideas with you. This is kind of going on the assumption that you've been posting some information out there, and that occasionally you get a like or a comment, and then trying to figure out, like, where do you go from there? And so that's kind of where I'm going to help you with that. Okay, so let's look at the agenda. Hopefully you found that and were able to download it. This is really fun because there's a lot of opportunity to find people on Facebook, but there definitely is a particular way to do it that works better than some other ones. And it's really, what is the number? It's in the email that you got with this link. You clicked on the link, and right underneath it is a phone number you call in on. So one of the things that's important to realize is that positive people attract positive people. And one of the things you want to make sure you're spending your time on, whatever you post, both on your personal profile and on your business page, is making sure you keep it upbeat and positive and things that people want to hear and read about. Now, that doesn't mean you have to, by no means are you only going to post about your business. You know, positive quotes, funny things about your kids, someplace fun you've gone. The only time I ever do anything even slightly on the negative side is when I can see it's kind of a consumer issue and it's like other people should know about it. But I'm not one. I don't vent about the weather. I don't vent about something bad that's happened. I try to make it as positive and fun and upbeat, because people are much more likely to read it than if we're venting. So it's just kind of an interesting note, is that people really like it the more positive we are. Okay, so I'm just giving you the class like there's 20 people, and it's just information everybody needs to know. So none of this is anything that's accusatory. All right. So one of the things I want you to think about, one of the things that attracts us to people is when they care about us and are interested in us. And so that's another thing that you really want to think about when you're on Facebook. When people post things, make comments, ask questions, be interested in them, no matter what's going on, and not just when there's something about makeup or that you can help with that way. It also builds trust in them when they see you're an expert in your field. So posting lots of good tidbits about how to apply makeup, what's fashionable, what's the in thing right now. They like it when they can see you know your stuff, but aren't necessarily trying to push the product and sell it, but just lots of tidbits. And so we always trust those because of their knowledge and their actions. And so we want to make sure that we're talking about how we want to help people more than we're talking about what we're hoping that they'll do for us by buying product. So we always do everything we can to keep the focus on the other person. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about how you become the expert and the person that people trust. And there's a couple different things that you want to think about. And so these are the kind of things that you may already be posting, or maybe you're not, or maybe you want to post more of, or maybe you'll tweak a little bit something that you're already doing. So the first one is tips and tricks and even sharing other people's ideas. All right. You want to do everything you can to share really good ideas. I love the ones with the contouring, the eyeshadow. There's all sorts of tips and tricks that you can share, to taking it off, to putting it on, to storing it, to making it last longer, videos, pictures, all sorts of different stuff. You want to be seen as the expert. The other thing you can do is be seen as an expert in a particular area. Maybe you are the go-to person when people have teenagers start to wear makeup. Or maybe you're the go-to person when people get married. Or maybe you're the go-to person when a stay-at-home mom goes back to work and needs a little makeover. You want to find something that you're passionate about and making sure you're putting pictures out there of people that you help and that you have fun with, and that you care about a certain group of people, because it starts to make you an expert and narrows it down a little bit. Not that you're not going to sell to people in all those areas, but people love to see that, wow, I need to go to this person because they're an expert in this area. And plus you'll get referrals to other people when you show that you have an expertise. When you're doing that, as much as you can, you want to be creating an email list. So let's say, either on YouTube, you can have people follow you there, or you can say, sign up for my newsletter. You'll get some tips and tricks that you'd only get through my newsletter list. That way, when you send the newsletter out, you have lots of tips in there too, and that gets distributed to every email box, versus when you post on a Facebook page or group, it doesn't necessarily get to everybody. And so those are kind of some things that are really make the difference and are really, really big in what you do. Okay. Now, one of the things that, let's see here, you can also post are just funny things or jokes about makeup or jokes about makeovers. People like to laugh. People like positive quotes. People like to feel like they can relate to you. All those things, you just want to do a variety of things about that subject and about your product. Okay? Success stories are always fun, and little bits about you, not a ton, no venting, no major stories. Just, here's something funny with my kids, or, went to dinner for my birthday, or, oh, here's something nice somebody did for me. Little bits about you that are very positive and upbeat. One of the things that I find in sharing success stories that you just have to be careful about, sometimes I'll see some people, I have this product and it does this, and I'm so grateful that I have this product. And sometimes it comes off kind of guilt-ridden, like if you don't have this product, you just aren't up to the times. Sometimes I'll see that more with products that are connected to weight loss and health, like, oh, I'm so glad I have this and don't have to take this other awful thing or use this other makeup or this other yucky thing. Comparing it to others never goes over real well, because somebody else is using it, and it's going to make them feel like you think they're not as intelligent if they're not using your product. Okay? It's not about bragging. It's just about sharing the story. Gosh, it's so fun. This bride wanted to have longer lashes, but she's allergic to the flu. She found this, and it was just so exciting that we could find something for her that gave her the look that she wanted, and, was something that was good for her. Or so excited this person that's been concerned or needed something natural, this is the product that worked for her, and now she's more confident because she's wearing makeup more on a daily basis. It just needs to be all about the positive parts of your product versus the negative. I guess saying they're allergic to glue is kind of the negative. What do you think about saying fake it till you make it? I believe in that attitude for your business. Now, what are you referring to with regards to posts on Facebook? I'm not sure what you mean there. I'd say if you call in real quick, this is being recorded, then they can hear your questions and we can have a back and forth conversation a little bit easier. Okay. I'm not sure what you're, how things are really going in your business. Well, I wouldn't make up customers so much as it's okay to share somebody else's story that's not made up, but increases your credibility because you're sharing success of others. Obviously, you don't want to say you're making so much money and you're not. Let's see. Urgency that they want this because everyone else is buying it. No. I'm going to give you some questions to use that are going to help. So I have some other things to help you with that. Okay? So hang in there. We're getting there. All right? So we want to, and that's the very next thing that we're going to talk about. But one of the things you want to be very careful about is putting a bunch of just specials. Buy now. I need this much more in sales this month for my promotion. People don't care about your stuff. They care about if they're going to get served and what they need. So I don't believe in doing stuff like that I'm opposed to. But I can give you other ways to help you increase your sales instead. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what's called open-ended questions. People love to give advice, opinions, and talk about themselves. So we're going to talk about how to get them talking. And that way, when we get them talking, then we can find out if there's a need they have that we can fill. So that's really fun. So one of the things that we want to do is make sure that there's really great questions. And we're going to get over to those questions here in just a second. The other thing you can do to kind of promote the post, if you have a friend who's bought a lot of the makeup, has a lot of fun with it, you find kind of a fun, positive quote or a cool makeup tip, especially if they asked about it. One of the things is when you put pictures on your group, then you can tag people in it who might want that advice, but make sure they're really, really good customers that you're really close to, or a friend or family you know won't mind at all that you do that. Don't do it for a stranger unless that person recently asked something specific about that particular need. You know, maybe it was a way to apply makeup, maybe it was a color, maybe it was something new that came out and you've been talking about it, any of those things. Okay, so when you do that, you can just tag them in the picture, and what that does is that all of a sudden broadcasts it out to their friends, and then a lot more people see it, and that's a way to sometimes increase the involvement in your group or Facebook page. So one of the things you want to do, if you want to share it on your personal page, first post it on you're in a group, post it on your group or on a Facebook page, then share it out to your profile so that then people see where it came from and might add themselves to that group or like the page if the page is what somebody has. You want to ask for people's opinions and for their ideas, and that gets people talking to instead of just talking at them and who likes this. It's just a different feel when we're asking what are called open-ended questions. One of the things that's important to realize is I is the #1 used word in the English language. And it is so important to understand this, that when we get people talking about themselves, it makes a huge difference in how we can connect with them. Obviously, none of us like sales people, so we're going to help you keep from that. And the thing is, most people don't know a better way to post or talk to people about their business, but now you're going to know a better idea, and it's really going to help you increase your sales. So this is what you want to do. When somebody comments on your post, there's a couple things we want to do. And we want to make sure that the first thing we're doing is asking lots of questions, getting to know them better. I see it happen quite frequently. Someone makes a comment or likes something. Oh, you like that? I can help you buy it. It's kind of, and it's said in different ways. Sometimes it's private message. Sometimes it's message right after. Sometimes it's, hey, can I send you to my website? It's not always directly, hey, I can help you buy that, but sometimes that's the general feel with about 90% of interactions on Facebook when it comes to a product. But what I teach people is that it's really important to slow down and ask questions of them first before we talk about the product or give them any sales information. So let's say that, you've asked people, what is your current method for trying to make your lashes look longer and fuller? And what do you do to try to accentuate your eyes and your lashes currently? So when they come in and make that, give a response, hi, are you there?
I'm here.
Hi, this is
Leslie.
Now
I'm on the phone.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so when we give a response, what we want to do is first ask some questions, okay? Now, you may ask them right under their post, or you might message them and say, hey, I noticed you like this. I was wondering if I could ask you a couple quick questions about what you're currently using for makeup or what you like about makeup. And so we always want to ask permission to ask some questions. And most people are kind of curious and go, okay. And so I tell people all the time they need to have 3 key questions they can ask. So it gets the other person talking. And what we want to do is find and reveal needs. Now, if you think about this for a minute, for example, you happen to sell Younique. The go-to product normally is the mascara. But the interesting thing is there are people who just straight up don't wear mascara. And here that's the go-to product we're always hitting. And when you ask some of these key questions first, then you'll know which product to talk about first, and you're much more likely to close a deal. Okay? So the first question that you want to ask is something along the lines of, what can't you live without, or what's the one thing that you're going to make sure you have over something else? So, if you leave the house with only one makeup product on, what would be that one thing you just couldn't leave without? And, for some people they're going to say foundation, some they're going to say lipstick, some they're going to say mascara, some they're going to say eyeshadow. Whatever it is, that gives you a better idea of which product to start sharing with them versus always going with your lead product, okay? Because there's just people who don't wear mascara, and you're going to lose about 25% of people because you always lead with that product, and there's some that just don't wear it. So another question would be something along the lines of, let me show you this cool thing. I'm finding it right now. But there's lots of questions. Anything from, what product in your makeup bag do you replace most frequently? So think about that. If you switched them to your brand, whether it was lipstick or mascara or anything, whatever it might be, foundation, what do you use most? And make sure you talk about that and get them to switch over to yours. Well, then here you've got a lifelong customer, okay? And if you could have a makeup tip on one area of your face, what would that be? So think about if you know those things. And I teach people to do that whether they're talking to somebody at Target or they're at a booth. One of the things I tell people all the time that's so important is if somebody is talking about themselves, they're not very likely to walk off. But if you're gabbing about the makeup and they're standing there in front of you and you're doing most of the talking, they could just wander off because you haven't hit on what they're interested in. But if you ask them questions and they're talking about themselves, they're going to stick around. So it makes a huge difference. Well, guess what? It works the exact same way in social media. When we start private messaging someone and we start doing all the talking and giving a bunch of information, same thing. They could check out and not respond, kind of walk off. But if you're asking questions, imagine if somebody asks you a question, how you just kind of have this need, you just have to answer it. You've got to like address what they said. So I tell people all the time, whether it's a private message or a text, always make sure the very last thing you say is a question, so it gives people that urge to reply and answer what it is you were talking about. Okay? Because have you ever had that happen where you're having a text conversation or a conversation online and the conversation just kind of dies and you don't know why or where they went? Have you ever had that happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go back and look at those messages. I've been having people test this. Go back and look at the last message when a conversation died and look and see, was it a statement you made or did you ask a question? And most people are finding the last thing they said was a statement, not a question. Okay? And it makes a huge difference when you're asking questions. So before we ever, even if they say, oh, I just want to know how much it is, just say, you know what, well, we have a couple different options. If I can get to know you just a little bit better, I'm going to be able to better explain what kind of things we have that would fit well for you. And they say, oh, no, just tell me the price. But most don't. They want you to be interested in them. Most people do exactly that. They just send you to the website. Now, this is the thing, okay? It doesn't matter what the product is, but it's something kind of different and out of the ordinary. It's usually going to cost a little bit more, but it doesn't mean it's not worth it. It just means there's more value in it. So for someone to send you, when they just barely see this, oh, it makes your lashes longer, they don't quite understand how it works or how long it lasts, you send them right to a website and they see a mascara is $30, you got a bunch of people that are going to check out. Whereas if you slow down and you talk to them and ask good questions, then all of a sudden they feel connected to you. There's a lot more trust. And then, you can, we always want to do, we don't want to send them to any website. What we always, always, always want to do is get them on the phone. Okay? Because you can only message so much, and you can find interested clients on social media, but it's not as easy to close clients on social media as it is face-to-face or on the phone. That's just so you can hear their tone of voice. You can ask them a few more questions. You can pull a little more information out of them. Whereas if they just don't want to answer a question on Facebook, they just don't. But if they hear your voice, they're less likely to choose not to answer it. And so you want to say, we have several different options. It'd be a lot easier and faster if I could just talk to you on the phone real quick. Then I can ask you a couple other questions I need to know about you to make the best recommendation. Can I just give you a real quick call? Where's your phone number? And I always get theirs. I don't give them mine. I expect them to call me because it just doesn't happen. But I get theirs and set up a time. Now, if I can call them right then, that's the best way to do it. Sometimes you can't, though. Sometimes they're on their way out, or sometimes you're on your way out. So then you schedule a specific time when that happens as to call. Ask them if it's a cell phone number, because if you schedule a time, you can text real quick and say, half an hour before the call, hey, is 3 o'clock, hey, Susie, is 3 o'clock still going to work? And then, tell them who you are and where you met. So that makes a big difference too. So the whole goal with these contacts on Facebook is to get them on the phone. And from there, it is so much easier to close. It's so much easier to relate to them. It's so much easier to either make them a hostess or a customer or a recruit, because you can have a much more in-depth conversation. And again, use those questions, no self-vomiting. We want to find out more about them, what they need, what they like about it, what made them, look into this makeup, what sparked their curiosity, all those kinds of things. Okay, so there's lots and lots and lots of different questions that you can ask. And just remember, when you're wanting to get to know them a little better, you need to first ask permission. Hey, can I ask you a couple quick questions? And so you have anything from, makeup. There's several questions on the agenda there. Which makeup item can you not leave the house without? Which makeup item do you purchase most frequently? And then you'll even have things about how frequently, or, what is your favorite color palette to wear? There's all kinds of questions that you can ask to reveal needs and better understand them. Okay. So let's talk about this a little bit. Do you see an area of sharing with family and friends?
Yeah.
On your agenda? Okay. Do you have any questions so far about what we've talked about?
No.
Tell me a little bit about your thoughts and how, is that something that you see being beneficial to your business? And if so, how?
Oh, absolutely. I think that you're right, that people do like to talk about themselves and realize that you're trying to help them rather than just try to sell them something.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Where now I'm just like, buy this, this is good, buy this, and I'm getting some, but I'm not getting much.
Right, exactly. Okay, so let's say, have you ever had someone like, you went to high school with, or a college roommate, or something that you wanted to share with them a little bit about your product or your business, and you didn't know how to quite bring it up? You hadn't talked to them for a while, and you didn't want this to be the only reason to call them. Have you ever had that scenario?
Oh, yeah, and I just had it come up recently, but actually, I have other ones that I can contact, but this one in particular, all of a sudden, just out of the blue, she went on my website and bought the mascara, and so then I contacted her and said, hey, thanks a lot, and, asked her a few things about herself and her family, and I saw that she had a grandkid, because we've been Facebook friends for, a few months, but haven't really had any contact since high school.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
So I got her talking a little bit, but not enough.
Gotcha. Okay. So, on the other hand, have you had like someone pop in your head, or even kind of someone you're sort of Facebook stalking? Gosh, I'd love to talk to them about the business, but haven't yet. Have you had that scenario?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there's people.
Okay. So I'm going to help you with that. Okay. Because, oh man, the traditional way I see is this kind of message sent out there. Hey, I'm doing this thing I love. You're so talented and you're so great. I think you'd be great at it. These compliments that sometimes are hollow, sometimes they're real, but they're made specifically to try to get them enticed to talking about the product, okay, or your business opportunity. And I don't care for that at all. There's other ways to do it. I'm more of a just be straightforward and honest. Hey, I'm doing this new thing, but you know what? It isn't for everybody, and that's totally okay. But I'd love to just ask you a couple quick questions, and then there's something I think you might need. I could share with you a little information about it. If not, then we're not even going to go there. Can I just ask you a couple quick questions? So I just believe in just pure honesty versus, oh, I'm loving this, I think you'd be great at it, and you have no idea if they have a need for it. Okay?
Yeah. We've got that training by some of the upline that say the 3 C's, and I can't remember what they all are, but one is compliment. And, if you haven't seen the person in years, how are you going to say all this and make it sound believable? Yeah,
I'm not a fan of that. But there's another way to do it.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're just honest with them. Well, first of all, there's nothing wrong with like messaging them and, hey, I saw your daughter just turned 21, or I saw that, you have your new grandbaby, or oh, how cute, how fun, how close do they live? Tell me what's going on. Where are you working? What kind of things are you into? Have a conversation first and say, hey, I'm kind of doing this new thing. Can I just ask you a couple quick questions? Just, some people like it, some people don't, but that way I know whether or not I should tell you about it. I just like to be real. Okay. That's just the way I choose to go. So then you can ask them just a couple key questions with, hey, you know, if you have makeup on and you only put one stitch of makeup on, which would it be? And you just ask these little key questions. You know, what makeup item do you run out of most frequently and have to repurchase? What do you like about that makeup? Ask a couple questions. And then you go, you know what? I'd love to either just kind of invite you to a party or show you some stuff one-on-one. And then you can decide if this is something that you like and is a good fit for you. Okay? We just want to be real and genuine. No artificial trying to fluff it up. No trying to get them to sign up with a company that they don't even know about the product or if they love it yet. Okay? We need to build those relationships first. Okay? And so with that, after you've asked some questions and got to know them, you say, you know what, you might be interested in this or this or this product. And you match it to what they said. So let's say they say, I never wear mascara. It doesn't work for me, but I wear eyeshadow and lipstick and some bronzer. And you go, I'm so glad you shared that with me. And when you're asking these questions, you don't want to just jump right in and start talking about a product until you first find 3 needs. So let's say somebody says, oh, I just wish my eyelashes were longer. They just seem so fair and so short. It's so tempting to jump in and go, dun, 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 we have this mascara and you're going to love it and you're going to try it. But we want to find 3 first, okay? We want to say, I'm so glad you shared that with me. Yeah, I can totally relate. You know, having those short blonde eyelashes isn't fun. Hey, I'm just curious, how many times a day do you reapply your lipstick? And then we ask another question. I'm so glad you told me that. Let me ask you one more thing. And then we have this like little bundle of information. Then we can share with them several products. Well, guess what? When there's several products of interest, they're much more likely to come to an event, let you share some samples with them, whatever it might be, depending on how far away you live, you know, what's practical and what isn't. Finding 3 needs before you start talking about the product makes a huge difference in their interest level and what they do. Do you see how that works? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Ask 3 questions, or you want to find 3 needs. Sometimes it takes more than 3 questions to do that, but you want to have those couple of questions. Okay. And then from there, it's kind of fun because then we ask them, you know, would you like a group setting or individual setting? It's called an optional close. Then from there, what you always want to do, whether they said yes or no, to say thank you so much for, you know, if they're a friend of mine, let me just tell you about that. I really appreciate your time. Then go back to a subject you would have normally talked about. What's so important is that you go back to a very normal, you know, whether you talk about their kids or you talk about what you're doing for the next holiday, or you talk, you know, it's a friend you had, you talk about a memory you have, something. This is what I see people get stuck, is that they talk about their business and then maybe there's a no, and then they just freeze and they act like they don't know what to say, like they hadn't been friends all this time. Go back to normal conversation. Say, hey, I understand, no problem. This isn't for you. I totally get it. You know where I'm at if you ever want some long, luscious eyelashes, but otherwise, no problem whatsoever. And then you talk about soccer or whatever is up next. Okay? That's where we keep from burning bridges. I've talked to so many people in network marketing. They've told me they've burnt bridges with their families. More so than not, it's that they've changed companies several times and they're like, oh goodness, you're selling something new. But you can totally preserve those relationships by being real and just saying, I understand, whether they want to buy it or not. And it gives you time to practice it. Worst case scenario, if they say no, you're going to be a little more comfortable to talk about it with the next person. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. So it's fun. It's, you know, when you're done with the conversation, you should feel the exact same way you did at the beginning, or better, but not worse. You feel worse or uncomfortable, then you probably didn't ask enough questions, or you didn't say, I just understand, no problem, I understand, and move on to another topic. It's really important that you neutralize that and go right back to something that nobody, you know, is worried about. Okay. And so can you see how different that can be than some of the things? And honestly, I see so few companies actually give people a method for doing this. They just go share it with your friends and family without much of a way to do it, or they kind of load it and sell them.
Everybody you know, everybody you run into, go up to people in the grocery store, go up to people in the mascara aisle. I'm like, oh my God, that's not me.
You can do that. You definitely technically can do that, but you need to ask questions first, not just, oh, you like mascara? You should buy mine. Okay?
Yeah.
So we just had someone else join us. I just see the letter T. I'm guessing that might be initial for your first name. Can you hear me? You can talk if you have a microphone, or you can chat down here at the bottom. Welcome. You can put your name and tell us what you sell and where you're from if you'd like. We're almost done. The call started 45 minutes ago, but just a little, couple other quick things. It's amazing what you can do if you simply take these people that you meet on Facebook, take them through the questions, then ask them if you can get them on the phone, then you ask them more questions on the phone, and then you can close them. Okay? Make sure you're keeping your posts very positive, very informational and expert-based. Make sure that you're giving lots of value to people and a reason to follow you in your group, or if you have a Facebook page. Okay? All those things are really, really important. Okay? Hi, Tammy. How are you? Nice to meet you. So it's exciting, really, really, really exciting what you can do when you slow down and really, really make the focus on the other person instead of the focus on, oh, I want to sell something. It changes everything.
Right.
It's really kind of cool what happens. Okay. So tell me, did you have any aha moments today, or what do you see yourself using from this webinar today?
I see using the question technique and a lot of the how-to posts more so than I've done in the past.
Awesome. We're perfect. So tell me, can you think of any scenarios you've had in the past where this might have came in handy?
Where what now?
Have you thought of any scenarios in the past where this technique might have come in handy?
Well, I'm sure there's some, but I can't think of any on hand right now.
Okay, no problem. All right. Do you have what are some of your better ideas for what to post on Facebook now?
Well, the how-to applications and maybe beneficial type things as to how it helps your skin, or different things like that.
Awesome. Very good. All right. Now, tell me, you do cash and carry. Do you do in-home parties?
I haven't had one yet.
Okay. Do you do online parties?
No, just the group page.
The group page. So does anybody host a party there on the group?
I've had a couple, yeah.
Gotcha.
And that's just adding another group for them and then posting to that group.
Gotcha. Okay. And do you
not like a party?
And do you have team members?
2.
2. Okay. Cool. So where is most of your sales and recruits come from?
Most of the sales is from, I guess, people around work, and the recruits are my daughter and my niece.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So close family. Very cool. So one of the things, if it's okay if I take just a minute and share with you, I'm really passionate about asking these questions in every area of our business. So rather we're face to face with somebody, or doing cash and carry, or a booth, or recruiting, or doing a class or a party, any of those kind of things, there's questions for all those areas. And could you feel like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much more comfortable is it, the idea of having a conversation with somebody on Facebook now than it was with using those questions than it was before you had this class? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable is it now?
Probably 8, I guess.
And what was it before we got started?
Probably mixed, probably a 4 or 5, just not knowing where to start or what to say.
Right. Okay. So imagine that comfort level going up, whether you're talking to somebody, a brand new customer, or talking to someone who's a hostess, or talking to someone at a booth, or recruiting. We have questions for all those different scenarios that make it so you're a lot more comfortable and don't feel like a salesperson at all. We're just getting to know them and being able to match needs with what they want. Okay. So we have what's called a 90-day challenge, and it's really fun because we really focus on goal setting, and it's fun. It's really using that law of attraction to build your business. And I kind of am a big believer that when you set goals, it's another way to pray always. And so we do the goal setting and business building, and the business building is always about those questions. Where and how can we ask those questions? It's amazing what you can do when you ask questions in every area of your business, that you can really expand on what you can do in a short amount of time. I mean, it amazes me every time someone new starts working with me and how fast their business grows. And I'm working with a big group, quite a large group of people with Younique who are taking it to a whole new level than they ever have before. It's really fun. I have people at all levels, purple down through brand new, that do this class with me. But it's a 3-month class. It's for 90 days. It's called the 90-Day Sales Challenge. And once a week, we do this thing. This is called Zoom. You get on there. And for an hour, we spend time together talking about goal setting and asking questions in all these different scenarios. And it's really amazing what happens. And it's really inexpensive because most people make about $100 off a party. And so for $110 per month for just the 3 months, or $300, you can join us on the 90-day challenge and continue to improve and develop questions that are perfect just for your business. So is that something that, I'm not sure what your goals are for your business, for either of you, Tammy or Leslie, but if you would like to, I'd be happy to have a private conversation with you and kind of understand your goals, what's going well now, and what you would like to have happen. And we can just see if this training is a good fit for you. There's lots of trainers out there, so somebody else might be a better fit. But I love to give people the opportunity to just chat with me and find out if this is something that would possibly help them get to their goals. What are your goals for your business, Leslie?
Well, to expand it and, build it as big as I can, I guess.
Okay.
Or not, I guess. That's what I want.
What level would you like to be in Younique in 3 months from now?
At least green.
At least green? That's a good place to be. That's a really good place to be. Is this training, would you like to have just a private chat with me about how this training works and see if this would be a good fit for you?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. So I'll give you a call this afternoon. Is the number you've called on ending in 8103, is that a good number to call?
It is. It's my cell phone, but I have a day job, and this is my lunch hour, and it's almost over. And then I go to exercise class afterwards, and then I get home about 7, and so I got to cook dinner, and then I'm really not available till like 8 or 7:30 probably. So is that convenient for you?
I have a call from 7 to 8, so I'd have to call at 8 p.m. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, I will do that. So Tammy, just real quick, sorry you missed the first of the call. This call is again tonight at 7 p.m. It's also being recorded. And where you like some of these ideas, I'm curious to know just a little bit about your company. I know a lot of the companies out there. I'm trying to remember what, I know I've heard it. Is it pronounced Yevo? Am I slaughtering it? Anywhere close? I'd be happy to have a little chat with you and just get to know you a little bit better in your business and what it is you sell and how long you've been with the company and what you'd like to see happen. Would you like to just have a quick little chat? Oh, cool. Marketing food company. That's cool. I like the fact, I love companies that, I love makeup, and it's definitely, in my opinion, a need, especially when I'm doing business. But makeup, you know, when it comes down to, you know, something horrible happened in our world, makeup's not a need so much as a food is. My husband's, he's an agronomist, which means he helps grow food for processing plants. And I always joke that he's going to be more valuable than other people, you know, if something bad happens when it comes right down to it, because he can grow food. Anyway, kind of funny. But I would love to just have a quick chat with you and learn a little bit more about your business and what's working for you. Would you like to have a quick little chat? Yeah, the recording will come out. Oh, that's fine. We can talk. Let's see, today is Tuesday. Would Thursday be better? Okay, just go ahead and you're messaging me privately, so you can just put your phone number down in the bottom and we'll have a chat. So we'll be talking, Miss Leslie, and there's another call tomorrow on sales that's free that you're welcome to hop on at the same times. And there's also, there's lots of recorded free calls on my website that you can, I tell people, go internet stalk me all you want, because I know that you'll like what you see. And if you're doing expos, how many booths and expos do you do on average in a month?
Right now, I get about 1 to 2 a month, but it's starting to pick up, you know.
So
So
go on and do the extraordinary booth class. You can download the agenda and watch the class on Face or YouTube, and you're gonna love it. I tweak people's whoops, sorry, I'm trying to write and talk. I tweak your drawing slip, and you should see what happens when you put these questions in your drawing slip and you know who to follow up with after. Holy cow, really amazing things happen. It's super fun.
So you said it was extraordinary booth class?
Yep, or it might say extraordinary expos. Can't remember if extraordinary expos or booths. And
that's on YouTube?
Well, go to my website and you quote unquote order it. It's just free. It'll take you through checkout, but it doesn't ask for a credit card or anything. It's just free. And that one is really cool. I've had people totally change their business just because of this drawing slip and a couple little tips I give you on doing booths. End up making a lot more money when they're there and get a lot better, more solid leads from the little tweaks that I do. So where you're doing booths, I think that you will like that one a lot.
And how do I get the sales one for tomorrow?
Oh, it's on the website too. Just sign up for it, just like you did this one.
I don't remember how I got this one.
So just go to creativesuccesssystems.com.
Okay.
I can put it down here for you.
Okay.
That down there.
All right. Well, okay. Well, I appreciate it, and I had a good time today and learned a lot, and I will check with you